SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
You're listening to Sports Talk Mississippi On Demand, presented by Pearl River Resort. Escape to Choctaw, Mississippi and enjoy world-class gaming, the Dancing Rabbit Golf Club, and Geyser Falls Water Park. Escape to Pearl River Resort.
Sports Talk Mississippi is on the air. Sports Talk Mississippi is powered by C Spire. Power your home or business with C Spire Fiber. To learn more, visit supertalk.fm/C Spire. C Spire Fiber powers Super Talk Mississippi. To the junction, in the Grove, and to the top. This is Sports Talk Mississippi. On your radio and in the game, right here on Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome in on Tuesday, Sports Talk Mississippi. Borkey and Hadad with you. So glad that you're here. Always glad that you are here in the Pearl River Resort studio. We got a lot to get to today. As promised, you're going to get some baseball conversation. I know state fans have been itching for baseball. A lot of hype, a lot of attention, quite frankly, a lot of money riding on Mississippi State baseball in 2026. We'll look at the preseason top 25. We will talk to somebody that covers college baseball. We'll get a little preview of the state of Mississippi in that regard. As the portal world turns, it's supposed to be a dead period for the coaches convention. The news is not dead in the portal world and also in the retention world. I know Brian Hadad loves drama, right? He's a big fan of Days of Our Lives, Gilmore Girls, all the dramas, right? That's a big thing.
Is Gilmore Girls a drama?
I don't know. I have no idea. I've been trying to pull dramas out of my rear end. But
if you ever listen to this show on a podcast, and if you increase the speed of our voice by 0.5%, that's the Gilmore Girls.
There you go.
They talk super fast.
But there is no drama quite like transfer portal drama. Ole Miss had a snip, snap, had a starter enter the transfer portal, an important one, I think, for 2026 after some fielding some offers from some other schools. You can guess one of them. And some some drama to follow. Ole Miss has retained a very important piece to their offensive line. We will talk about that and more with you on this Tuesday. And oh, by the way, lines as well today. And huge news in the NFL. We got to get to all that.
And we will. And we'll do that right here in the Pearl River Resort studios. Pearl River Resort, what do you like to do on the weekends? We can make it happen for you at Pearl River Resort. If you just want to relax or if you want to get after it, Pearl River Resort has all the options in between. Check it out at pearlriverresort.com. C Spire text line is open to you at 601-879-4395. The best teams know how to get even better. That's why C Spire constantly enhances their wireless, fiber internet, and business solutions for you. Visit cspire.com today. C Spire, inspired by you.
Drama. So much drama. Drama in the transfer portal. It is what
so much
it is.
Drama in Mississippi. Kind of hard being Mike Borkey.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Charles Huff got his quarterback, by the way. Aaron Noland.
That's a guy I've been, for somebody who follows recruiting, he was a huge recruit a couple years ago, goes to Ohio State, and then unwittingly, doesn't realize that Julian Sanin's about to transfer there. Goes to South Carolina thinking, okay, well, I'll be there for a year. I'll redshirt, and Lenore Sellers will be gone. Nope, Sellers comes back for another year. So he's like, I've got to find a place to play. Pele. He's
the soccer star.
Yeah, yes. So he goes to Memphis. I mean, he is very much his high school highlights will make you think of Braylon Braxton. So I think that's a good fit. I think that's going to be a good fit for Huff.
We shall see, but that just came across the ticker, if you will. Let's start with Mike Tomlin, actually.
All right, sure.
Because we got the portal thing happening in the 5 o'clock hour. We'll talk player retention. We'll talk baseball. So we're going to talk football in this first hour. And huge news just in the football world. The Steelers lost last night. God bless your buddy Robbie Falk, traveling all the way up to Pittsburgh, braving the cold.
So bad.
And here's a stat that Robbie, hopefully he's not back in Mississippi listening to this, because
he's still very much in Pittsburgh.
The Texans last night are the first team to ever, an EVER ever, to allow 175 yards or fewer, have 2 third down conversions or fewer, and score 2 defensive touchdowns in a playoff game in the history of professional football. The Steelers had 175 yards or fewer. They converted 2 third downs or fewer and gave up 2 defensive touchdowns in the game last night. I mean, incredible from the Texans. They built that defense from the ground up. There's talent everywhere, but having to sit in the stadium as a fan and watch that Steeler offense had to have just, I mean, I don't know.
So, and it's got me thinking, it's got me wondering, and I don't know, I'd love to know the answer to this, but, great players, Hall of Fame players, what was their last play? Because Aaron Rodgers, as it stands, if he calls it a career, his last ever play, he threw a pick 6. And that's kind of just a tough way for a guy, say what you want about Rodgers and the personal stuff and the off-the-field stuff. On the field, one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play. Maybe the most talented in terms of arm to ever do it.
Easy first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, Super Bowl champion, multi-time playoff, great player. That's a tough way to go out, if that is indeed the case. Watching that game, into the third quarter, I thought, man, this game is close and Pittsburgh is going to find a way and the home crowd's going to pull them off. And then just all of a sudden, the Texans ripped the Band-Aid off and just turned into the 85 Bears. That defense is scary. I think that they'll have some problems next week with New England. But when they ratchet it up on defense, they're as good as anybody in the league.
Yeah, it sounded like Rodgers was reflective in his press conference after the game. It was kind of funny. Jets fans are mad at him because he talked about the Steelers being, one of those organizations in the NFL with the city and the tradition, and he's so proud to have played for 2 of those iconic franchises in the NFL.
What do you want him to say? You want him to get up there and lie?
The Jets don't even have their own stadium, and they don't even play in the city in which they call themselves.
There's nothing iconic about the Jets except for all the losing.
But he hated his time with the Jets, clearly.
Yeah, it was probably mutual, but goodness gracious, that's just an awful – I mean, what do you want him to say?
But after the game – and somebody sends us a portal update. I think that's a big pickup for Mississippi
It is.
State.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about that as the portal turns. That's a good one. There you go. On the line of scrimmage, Mississippi State. That's what you're talking about. That's what the fans have been waiting for, a talent like that. But Mike Tomlin informed his team and the organization today that after 19 seasons, none of which he had a losing record, 19 seasons as the head coach of the Steelers. He is stepping away. Here's the other side of it, though. They have gone a decade without a playoff win.
Yeah.
And that is unacceptable, for any NFL franchise, especially the Pittsburgh Steelers.
So when you look at that situation, first off, first time in 20 years that the Ravens-Steelers game will not have Harbaugh or Tomlin coaching it. That's incredible.
That?
I mean, the Steelers, 56 years, 3 coaches. Think about the NFL and how quickly they pull the trigger on some of these guys, and 3 coaches. And now, granted, they've had so much success, right?
Yeah.
All of those guys have won Super Bowls, and Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and Mike Tomlin. But it feels like antiquated. I mean, it feels like something I don't know that. I'll be really shocked if you and I are sitting here on January 13th, 2046, which, by the way, I'll be 70 if that's the case. I hope I'm still as witty as I am at 70 as I am today. But I'll be really surprised if 20 years from today we're talking about whoever the Steelers hire, he's just now getting to leave. I just don't see that happening. So And the thought I had, because I don't think Tomlin's done as a coach right now. He might take a year, do a little TV, see where it takes him.
He would be great on television.
Be great on TV.
By the way,
I really don't want him to take the Atlanta job because he is a winner. Don't want him to take that job. I want him to take the Baltimore job.
And they trade coaches?
No. Oh, now I don't think that's going to happen. But that's what I want. I want the full NWO heel turn.
That would be so awesome.
I want him to be like, I've always been a Steeler until now. And then he pulls off the shirt and he's got the Ravens jersey on. Be incredible theater. Yeah, dude. The AFC North, two Titans gone. And honestly, not the same thing, but Stefanski's gone. 3 of the 4 coaches are new next year. Hell, the Bengals could fire Zach Taylor. I wouldn't be overly stressed about that. They're not fire him. He's terrible.
By the way, Stefanski is going to do what Vrabel did.
He will be a good coach next year with a better franchise. No question.
100%. And people are going to be like, oh, why didn't it work in Cleveland? Well,
exactly.
You said it in the name right there. But we'll keep talking. We got lines to get to. The next weekend in the playoffs, this weekend, I should say, are now officially set. A lot of your texts have come in on this as well. So we'll keep talking football for a little bit. Then we'll transition to baseball for a little bit. Then we'll do As the Portal Turns. There's your show on this Tuesday. Glad you guys are with us. We're just getting started, though, from the Pearl River Resort studio. Stick around.
From the Venable Glass.
Can you feel it? Can you hear it? Sports Talk Mississippi.
Yeah!
On SuperTalk Mississippi.
So here's the question then from the C Spire text line from Aaron in Meridian. With Tomlin stepping away, who's the next coach who's been coaching the same team the longest? Do you know the answer? I had to Google it. I was pretty sure, but I did Google it just to verify. When you should know it. I'll put it that way.
All right, the next longest
who is now the longest tenured coach? Oh, you're gonna feel bad when I tell you.
Hold on, I'm walking through it. Is it Sean Payton?
No, it's Andy Reid.
Andy Reid. Oh my God, Andy Reid is still coaching.
Yeah. Been with the Chiefs since 2013.
Because there's a lot of turnover. Almost 1/3 of the coaches in the NFL will be replaced this year. Almost 1/3.
Yeah.
That's how.
There's 9 openings right now, and I won't be totally surprised if there's another one down the road. You never know.
Somebody's asking, too, do you think it was a step down or a nudge, wink, wink from the Steelers? It kind of feels like...
Probably a mutual decision. I think
when you know something's done, you just know, and everybody
and like
knows.
we said, he's going to have options. If he wants to get back into coaching, there are jobs that will take him today. And if he wants to go into TV, he will have a multi-million-dollar contract waiting for him. So I hope if he goes to TV, he doesn't go to the studio. We've had these guys. We had Brady and Romo come in and be as these guys who they kind of tell you what's happening before it's happening because they're so familiar with the game. I'd love to have a coach doing that the way Madden did.
Romo's performance has been highly criticized.
It's been going downhill. He's gotten further away from the game.
And not only that, he is so obsessed, especially this past game. So obsessed with trying to predict the play that he has stopped telling you what happened in the play.
Yeah.
I don't need you to predict the outcome. I want you to tell me how it happened.
I thought Brady was better. The conversation he had about throwing the ball in the wind.
So sick.
It's like that is information I could never have had before.
So what was it? Make a downward C when you're throwing in the wind instead of...
Like the Eagles' last play, he was just bewildered. But he didn't want to say... I don't think he just wanted to say, I have no blanking idea what Sirianni's doing here. But
he's loosening up a little bit.
My question with Tomlin, though, is can he be critical of other coaches?
Probably not if you want to get back into it.
Well, also he's been around for so long, he knows all those guys, so it'd just be tough.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see what he does.
Very interesting stuff. Somebody says, I'm a Titans season ticket holder. Who will be our coach? Of course, don't know who wants to go to the Titans due to the owner. Yeah, the pool of candidates, if you're an NFL team looking for a coach, is not super exciting. Mm-hmm. Mike McDaniel's getting interviews.
He needs to be a coordinator.
Yeah.
That's a guy who's better as a coordinator. He's too weird to be an NFL head coach.
It just didn't work.
He could be a college head coach because, I think we have pretty good indication that weird guys make really good college football head coaches sometimes.
I'm going to draw the comparisons because of familiarity. I think he is everything that Kiffin is, but also would actually a little bit more buttoned up in terms of
because he's been in the NFL,
right? You don't get the jobs that he's gotten in the NFL without being a quality worker.
Weird guys in college football happen. I mean, Cignetti's got some weird.
He's weird.
Leach had a lot of weird to him, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, I could say, but I think
Harbaugh
weird guy. But he knows how to button it up for the play. He's the unicorn. He's the guy who can be successful at both. Very rare.
Jeff says, as a New York Football Giants fan, I would love to have John Harbaugh, but would be okay with Kevin. Did you see what happened with Jackson Dart at the Fiesta Bowl?
Who's Kevin?
Stefanski.
Oh, Stefanski. Okay, yeah. Okay. It's did I see what happened to Jackson Dart? No.
So Jackson Dart was at the Fiesta Bowl supporting his team, right?
As one does.
The camera went to him just on the sideline. Was like, hey, look, Jackson Dart's here. Mm-hmm. And he was having a conversation with somebody. Mm-hmm. You have this new phenomenon where athletes, if they're in public, are covering their mouths when they talk about anything.
Mm-hmm. Because there's these lip readers.
A lip reader put out there that, hey, Dart was talking about Stefanski and Harbaugh as the top two candidates to be the Giants head coach. It's like, yeah, it might be Harbaugh, might be Stefanski. I don't know. We'll see. And the person's analyzing what Dart's saying to a guy on the sidelines, and so it became news in New York that Jackson Dart prefers these two coaches as his guy moving forward.
That's not really saying anything, though.
No, but
those are two good choices.
But if you're now, I understand why athletes are so paranoid. It's like you can't even have a conversation on the sideline of a football game anymore without going viral on the internet because some goofy lip reader took the video and put it online that Jackson Dart said, these are the two guys that I want to be my head coach. Crazy town. He can't even have a private conversation anymore.
That's funny.
Man. Steve says, between the NFL and college, this might be the largest turnover we've seen in a while. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if it's the largest of all time. Can you think of a year where you've had more college and NFL coach turnover? There's no way.
Especially at the top.
Yeah.
So, that's a good question. What, nine NFL jobs, and then I couldn't even begin to count the college jobs. But, I mean, just in the SEC, we had, 5? Kentucky,
so
Arkansas,
LSU was open, Ole Miss was open, Kentucky was open, Arkansas was open. Auburn was open.
Florida
was open.
6. So just 6 just in a conference of 16.
Yeah.
And look, you could have made a strong case for a couple more.
Penn State was open.
Michigan
State was open.
Michigan State were both open. Utah became open because of something. UCLA was open. Oregon State was open.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, I'm not done. I'm not
anywhere close to done.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Wild.
And like I said, you could have fired 3 or 4 more coaches and everybody would have been okay with it. If Mike Norvell had gotten fired, nobody's saying anything. Shane Beamer gets fired, nobody's saying anything.
The poorly kept secret in Tallahassee is Mike Norvell did not get fired because they back-channeled Lane Kiffin and realized that he was not going to Florida State.
Yeah. We miss Southern Miss right here in the state, too.
Southern Miss? Memphis?
Just ridiculous.
UAB? All in the little triangle here. Tulane?
Yeah.
Wow. It's pretty wild there. All right. Games upcoming this weekend. I am beyond excited for this one. Bills, Broncos, Saturday, 3:30. The Bills actually a 1.5 favorite at the 1 seed, and Sean Payton and Bo Nix and the Broncos.
This is going to be some tough decisions to be made. I feel like the Bills should be favored in this game. I really do. Because I never trust a quarterback making that first deep, the first time when there's expectations on him. I never trust them.
Yeah.
Now, Drake May's got some of that too, right? But Josh Allen, this feels like Josh Allen's time. I know he's got to play all his games on the road to get there, but that's kind of how Josh Allen might want it, to be totally honest with you. Mahomes is out. This is Josh Allen's time. If you said, Brian, make a bet, you have to pick, I would want to take those points.
There is immense pressure on Josh Allen. Mm-hmm. And he's still very young, don't get me wrong, but when it comes to quote-unquote legacy, there's a ton of pressure on him to win a Super Bowl this year because the guy that's always gotten in your way is not in your way right now. Interesting stuff. Sadly, no weather, by the way. It'll be 42 and sunny on Saturday in Denver, so no snow or anything like that.
That's lame.
I know. The nightcap, the completely and totally banged up in ways that football teams probably shouldn't be. The San Francisco 49ers, at least some of them anyway, will make the trip to Seattle as 7.5-point underdogs. Also, no weather in Seattle either.
Again, lame.
Very lame.
God, the 49ers are so beat up. It's really tough to see them, winning this. I think they only beat the Eagles because the Eagles all hate each other. But 7.5 is a lot of points. It's a lot of points. I mean, they played just a few weeks ago in San Fran, and 13-3 was the final. I might give the points here, but I would not feel good about it.
Would not feel good about it. Marty says no Mahomes, Jackson, or Burrow in the way this year for Josh Allen. Seriously, I mean that.
Yeah, those are the guys that have gotten him in the past. But
I mean, you've already gotten through Trevor Lawrence, who had a good year, but still, I mean, you are looking at your path being Trevor Lawrence, Bo Nix, and either Drake May or C.J. Stroud. Now, there's a lot to like about all those guys. That's not Mahomes. That's not Burrow, that's not Lamar. I mean, that's clearly a step down in your path to get there.
May is the next guy, though.
I think so, too.
So
it's almost like when you hire a really good coach that has a really good process and system, and you pair him with a quality quarterback, he hires good people around him, and boom, you've got a winning NFL team. Titans, looking at you specifically, Titans. That's got to be a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
As a Titans fan. We had somebody text in earlier, like, I'm a Titans season ticket holder. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you have to deal with that. We'll get to the other two games, and also, hey, there's one more college football game, and that line is out. We'll talk about that as well. Sports Talk Mississippi from the Pearl River Resort Studio.
From the Seabrook.com.
I can't believe what I'm hearing.
This is Sports Talk Mississippi, right here on Super Talk Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi here with you on a Tuesday afternoon. Brian Hadad and Michael Borkey here in the Pearl River Resort Studio. Sports Talk Mississippi is brought to you in part by AgriGold. AgriGold believes progress in the field starts with seed and the people who plant it. That's why AgriGold focuses 100% on seed, delivering trusted genetics and solutions to help you get more out of every acre. Contact Kerry Baker today. He's your local AgriGold representative, 662-836-7417 to learn more. Or you can visit agrigold.com and explore seed solutions and agronomy resources. Plant your legacy today with AgriGold.
Chase, you're right about this, but also this is the world we live in. He says, I hate the method of thinking. He can't get past Mahomes. We literally define his legacy by the fact that Mahomes won a coin flip or got the ball last. I hate when we use team achievement to quantify individual greatness. Quote, there's no Mahomes, Burrow, or Jackson, quote, end quote. But that negates the fact that they aren't the 6th seed in the conference. Here's the thing about that, though. The quarterback is judged on it's a wins and losses position because that is the position that most impacts the wins and the losses. Yes, you need other things to go right in order to win. But look at how integral to winning Tom Brady was. It's not just they throw the football good. It's everything about their process. The Patriots won Super Bowls because they had that guy playing quarterback to help establish not just throwing passes, but winning culture and things like that. You can have the most talent in the world, but if you're not one of those guys, your team's not going to win. Look at Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's the most talented guy in the world. Listen to some of the things that we're hearing now about Lamar Jackson's process. He's not driven in that way. And as a result, they go to the playoffs, they lose. If he played better, they'd win.
It just
wins is a quarterback stat. It is.
Yeah.
And look, not every year, right? You don't have to win the Super Bowl every single year, but if you don't win one, if you're Josh Allen, as talented as Josh Allen is, and he never gets one, that is a reflection on Josh Allen. It's a reflection, even though he was great, coming out of retirement at 44 years old, and it's an indictment on Phillip Rivers. Marino was awesome, but why did you not get? Why did that happen? Jim Kelly, why did that not happen? Maybe it was all just dumb luck. But there's a reason some of these guys were able to separate and lead their teams to Super Bowl wins. Not an exact science. Trent Dilfer has one. But generally speaking, if Allen never gets one, it was because of him ultimately.
Yeah. I mean, I get what Chase is saying. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I mean, it's just the nature of the beast. When you are a quarterback in the NFL, this is the burden you have to bear. You take the blame. So,
really interesting stuff.
Yeah.
The other two games, Texans, after their dominating defensive performance last night at the Patriots are a 3-point favorite in the game on Sunday afternoon.
So I feel like people are going to bet the Texans because the Texans were so dominant last night. But don't be fooled, right? That the Patriots are a much better team than the Steelers, so they'll probably get that one. I would give you the points on that.
And we're finally going to get weather, by the way. A high of a high of 15 degrees on Sunday in Chicago. It's supposed to snow Saturday a little bit. Chances of snow on Sunday, but it's going to be for the high 15 degrees, and by the time the game is over, because it will kick off at night.
I got to chill just you talking about it. Gosh.
It'll get into the single digits by the time that game is over.
It's freezing cold. And the Rams, a 3.5-point favorite. You know, they were a 10-plus point favorite this past weekend against the Panthers on the road. I get why they're favored. I mean, if you don't have the craziness of that game with Seattle a few weeks ago, they're the 1 seed. And they're not even in this game. So I get why they're favored, but man, there's something brewing in Chicago. They keep winning all of these close games. Mm-hmm. And that gives me some pause there. So,
and then you got to wonder about Stafford's finger. I know they said he's good to go. But he's got a finger issue, right? And it's just going to take a lot of work to keep that thing warm.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about this. Paul mentions this, Woody Marks. That is not a guy I thought would be a productive NFL player for 2 reasons.
And he's
One,
pretty awesome.
He's a little undersized, but 2, he took such a beating in college, man. I mean, I can't tell you how many times as a freshman he would catch a pass in the flat with his back to the defender and just get smothered.
Yeah.
And it was just Woody Marks, I believe, is State's like 4th all-time leading receiver. He caught so many passes in college, and most of them were not for a lot of yards. He took so many big hits. I saw earlier this year he set an NFL record. He came out with an injury in 12 straight games. But he just goes back in. And then last night to go on the road 100 yards and a touchdown against the Steelers, good for him. Good for Woody Marks. That guy deserves to have some success because, man, he took a beating here at Mississippi State. 700
rushing yards this year, 200 receiving yards this year for the Texans. He did put on weight at USC. He got up to 210. Remember the pictures?
Yes.
After he got there, and it was almost like, wait a minute. What?
Yeah. Found some abs.
What?
Yeah.
Like, how did that happen so quickly? But yeah, no, he's been putting on a show.
Yeah,
for sure. Somebody asked us if we have seen the conspiracy theory with San Francisco having a power plant right next to their stadium and their practice facility.
I have seen that. That is, as conspiracy theories go, it's pretty well researched.
It's interesting.
And it's interesting. It's not one that immediately makes me. It's not like the one in the Borkey's. Why does Borkey's light keep cutting off? It's not like that.
I learned, by the way, I can just mic on, off, and it'll cut back on.
Well, I didn't know that.
I just learned that yesterday.
Well, there you go. I have seen. I saw the charts and everything. It's fascinating. I will definitely say that.
So, if you're not familiar, the 49ers are the most injured team in the NFL.
Yeah.
And that stadium it's at the top of the injuries occurring on the field too, right? It's not just the 49ers players. It's
right.
There is a power plant right next to their stadium and practice facility. And the theory is that the power plant is messing with the bodies of the players, and they are more apt to get injured. That's your theory.
Right.
I did see a physician say basically it's the best kind of conspiracy theory because I cannot tell you in confidence that it's not true, but also there is absolutely no way to prove that it's true. Mm-hmm. So it's just going to exist out here in the ether for however long.
Good. That's how I like my conspiracy theories. Unprovable, but not disputable either.
Yeah, it's
that's what I want from a conspiracy theory. Look, I'm just wearing a T-shirt. I have a polo on. Let me. All you could see was my T-shirt. I'm not just wearing a pullover and a T-shirt.
I went to Yellowstone, and all I got was this lousy T-shirt.
Yeah. Well, this is just, I'm team undershirt, as people may or may not know.
My parents went to Yellowstone.
Yeah.
This summer.
Yeah. This summer?
And all they gave me was a lousy T-shirt.
Oh.
We were not invited.
Yeah.
Oh, no. We were not invited on the trip to Yellowstone. Oh, absolutely not.
No.
And
you turn around and James is, floating on top of Old Faithful.
All I got was pictures.
Yeah.
And then a T-shirt. Hey, here's this from our trip to Yellowstone.
Well, there's easy revenge for that. Go on your own vacation and don't invite them.
I can't afford Yellowstone.
You got to figure something out there.
I can't afford. We're going to Monster Jam next month. I'll send my dad a El Toro Loco T-shirt.
There you go, something like that. Yeah.
But people are. What I don't like though about getting merch from things that I have not been to myself is people, if you wear it, will ask you about it.
Oh yeah, ask you about it. Yeah.
Like my dad got to play Pebble Beach years and years ago.
Uh-huh.
And he got me a Pebble Beach golf shirt.
Yeah.
And every time I wear it, oh, man, you got to play Pebble Beach?
No.
Nope.
No, you did not.
No, I did not get it. So the same thing with Yellowstone now. It's, when did you go to Yellowstone? Well, I didn't, actually. But the pictures looks cool from people that went that didn't invite me. So I'm anti-merch of things that I didn't go to. Because of that reason.
I get that.
It's like the same phenomenon of, you see college kids walking around in Sublime shirts and name 3 songs.
I don't like Sublime, so that's fine.
I don't really either.
Not a big fan.
Only in the summer, though. If it's a summer Saturday, you got the kids by the pool and somebody brought the Costco margarita mix, now you can put Sublime on. We could have a good day.
The Costco margarita mix. Very nice.
Sports Talk Mississippi, 601-879-4395. 601-879-4395. So glad that you guys are with us. We'll look into the national championship game 6 days away when we come back.
From the Venable.
Hey guys, what's happening? What the heck are you doing?
Sports Talk Mississippi on your radio and in the game. Sports Talk Mississippi.
Last line of the day on Lines Tuesday, Indiana -8.5.
That's gone up
against
a point.
It has gone up a point against Miami in their home stadium in the national championship game.
I would not bet against Indiana at this point. I just would not do it. They have murdered both teams they've played. I feel like Miami's playing really good football, and in another world, if they were playing Oregon or Alabama or something, I might think they were going to win, but not this Indiana team. They're just a steamroller right now.
So what stops them aside from changing your signals? What stops this Indiana team? I'm kidding. It can
get us in trouble.
I'm kidding.
I think it's more. I think it's one of those situations where I don't know if Miami can win, but Indiana could lose. Like, they got to start making mistakes for the first time this year. Mendoza throws a couple of picks, something like that.
This could be the fastest national championship game of all time.
Oh yeah, these two teams just run the football. It'd be great. I'm going to enjoy it. To go to bed at a normal hour on a Monday night.
I do wonder if Miami is more equipped than that of Oregon and even Ohio State, if you can believe it, to just line up and run right at Indiana. I mean, you've got 2 NFL tackles. You got a big physical running back. I mean, Indiana's physical and veteran and stuff as well, but Miami's more equipped to do that thing than even Ohio State was, and especially more so than Oregon was. It's a different style that they play, and I wonder if Indiana is built for that.
I don't know. You would think they are. I mean, playing in the Big Ten.
They'll just be able to do a much better job on third downs than Ole Miss did.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, Miami's defensive line is maybe the best in the country. And that's what gives Miami a fighting chance. And the fact that they have 2 elite playmakers on offense. They're different kind of players. With Fletcher is a pounded out, grinded out running back. Tony is the electric factory that he is. Is Carson Beck like an X factor here?
Gotta be, yeah.
Here's this veteran quarterback, seen it all, done it all, scores the winning touchdown, chance to put the final bow on his redemption arc. You know, there's something to that. It could end up being a good game, but I'm just not going to be surprised if Indiana wins by, 20-plus points.
Yeah, and Indiana only beat Ohio State by 3, but Ohio State couldn't move the football at all. Indiana shut them down for 4 quarters, and obviously shut down Alabama for 4 quarters as well. I think Miami's more equipped to do it a different way. More physical, more punishing. Where did that come from, by the way? Where did that come from? How did Miami become that? It's crazy.
Well, it's not that they became that. It's that they got back to it.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a time where my I love hearing the stories of the 2001 Miami team where, Willis McGahee had to be moved to fullback because he couldn't get on the field in front of Frank Gore and Clinton Portis. And, all these guys who ended up playing in the NFL were on special teams because they couldn't get on the field. I mean, Miami having a nasty defense was always the case. They got away from that the last 2 decades. So now they're finally back to it.
Bill says Indiana is too perfect. Yeah, they are, man. They really are just so well studied. So well studied. I mean, they just have the right call for everything.
Yeah. Just stop. Just calm down. Just calm down.
There are people that have their antennas up that are smart football people.
Mm-hmm.
That are just like, interesting.
Yeah.
Did you see Connor Stallions, by the way, jumped in on the how to get cheap secondary market tickets?
And then was like, don't ask me how I know. I thought that was fantastic.
Oh, man. But I'm excited for this
one. He's still a scumbag, but that was funny. I want to point that out.
Indiana winning this game, I said it yesterday, but Indiana winning the national championship is so good for college football. Mm-hmm. Because, again, like people say all the time, so much complaining, money, too much money, transfer portal, all that stuff. There's all that. But when it comes to the actual football, for people that have been correctly saying that the playing field has never been more level, here is, it doesn't matter the result of this game. Anybody that said that is correct, that the playing field has never been more level. Indiana winning the national championship is proof positive that all you need, and it's easier said than done, You need to make the right hire at head coach, and you need to be aligned. You don't need a brand. You don't need past Heismans. You don't need a big stadium. You don't need national championships. You don't need tradition. You need none of that crap. You need to make one good hire and be aligned as an institution. And if you do that, it doesn't matter who you are, you can win.
Yeah.
Indiana ends any conversation about, no, you still need to go to a blue blood. Completely ends that conversation.
Yes.
And honestly, it's been so long since Miami's been good that you can loop them into that too as, you don't win on your own anymore. Miami had to make the right hire and get aligned before they could win too.
Well, Miami is a super NIL team. They got money going into that. So,
but anybody, and that includes, obviously, Ole Miss was a ball in the end zone away from being in this position too. All it takes, it's difficult to do, but you don't need brand anymore. That doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
So, to tell you the truth, I'm rooting for Indiana on Monday. I think it's great for college football if an Indiana can win a national championship. Sports Talk Mississippi. How about we talk baseball after the news?
Your home. Let's go to the junction, in the Grove, and to the top.
Don't hurt yourself.
Sports Talk Mississippi on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Brian Hadad and Michael Borkey here with you on a Tuesday. We're talking college baseball in this hour. Mississippi State and Southern Mississippi both ranked in the top 25 in the preseason poll for D1 baseball. Why isn't Ole Miss ranked? We'll talk about that and a lot more in about 14 minutes with Mark Etheridge from D1 baseball, plus a lot more baseball talk as we look around the SEC and the nation. Start the new year with a compact tractor that's a proven performer and get a great deal. You get it all at Ag Up Equipment. Right now, you can get 0% financing for 48 months on select John Deere 1 through 4 series compact tractors. You can't beat these workhorses or the 0% financing. Stop by your local Ag Up or visit them at agup.com. Your down-home dealer. Offer ends 1/31/26. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. What's Up on Sports Talk Mississippi is brought to you by Ag Up.
Number 25 in the D1 poll, Texas A&M, 24 Arizona, 23 Vanderbilt, 22 Miami, 21 Wake Forest, 20 your Southern Miss Golden Eagles, just always in the top 25, as they should be.
Consistency. I mean, just set your watch to it.
Clemson, 19, Kentucky, 18, NC State, 17, Florida State 16, Georgia 15, Tennessee without Vitello 14.
Got to figure if he was there, they'd be like 4th or 5th.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Florida 13, Kevin O'Sullivan, after dealing with a personal matter, has returned to the team. He will still be suspended for the first couple of games for berating the grounds crew in the regional. Oregon State 12, North Carolina 11, TCU 10, Auburn with a pretty high preseason ranking. They're at 9.
I'm fascinated by Auburn. Auburn is either going to Omaha or finishing last in the conference. There feels to be like there's no middle ground with them.
Arkansas 7, Coastal Carolina, the Chanticleers at 6, Georgia Tech 5, Mississippi State preseason number 4.
I thought that they could be anywhere from 1 through 4. If they had been 1, I wouldn't have been overly surprised by it, but 4 is fine.
Behind of 2 SEC teams, Texas 3, LSU 2, and UCLA number 1.
UCLA brings back a ton of players, including the preseason projection to be the number 1 pick in the draft. LSU is the defending national champs, and Texas is the defending SEC champs.
Here's a stat for you.
Okay.
Thanks to the pair ratings, at PEA Ratings on Twitter. A lot of schedule, analytic, stat stuff. Good account there, especially in college baseball. He does football as well, but big college baseball guy. The hardest conference schedules in the SEC this year. You want to guess whose numbers 1 and 2?
Mississippi State and Ole Miss.
Flip them. Ole Miss and Mississippi State have the hardest.
Do you know what that is? Because Ole Miss plays Mississippi. No, because Ole Miss plays Mississippi State, and Mississippi State doesn't play Mississippi State.
Ole Miss has the hardest schedule at a ranking of .128, Mississippi State .136, Missouri, goodness gracious, can't catch a break, .142. So very little difference between the top three. But Ole Miss plays the ranked teams in the SEC, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Pretty tough.
And it's not like Mississippi State's is any better.
Right. Like I said, the only difference is that Ole Miss is playing number 4,
right,
and State, by playing Ole Miss, is playing an unranked team at this time. I have zero doubt that by the time we get to that series, Ole Miss will be in the top 25.
It's crazy.
Seems highly unlikely that they won't be.
State fans have been waiting for this baseball season since the day they hired Brian O'Connor.
Yeah, really have.
And this isn't a bad thing. I don't know why people get offended by this part of this. Old school way of thinking, I suppose. There's a lot of money on this roster.
Yeah.
A lot of really quality transfers in from Virginia. A lot of quality retention that they spent money on.
It's the number one transfer portal class, and my guess is, it's an educated guess, that Ace Reese is one of the highest paid college baseball players in the country.
I'd be willing to bet that he is. And obviously the salary and coaching staff and stuff is... Mississippi State is spending more on this baseball roster than anybody with coaching and players. How much does that translate to expectations, though? What are the realistic expectations for this team? What do the fans expect, and are they two different answers?
The realistic expectations are, I'll start here. The fans' expectations are to be in Omaha and to contend for a national title. Those are realistic expectations when you look at this roster. And we're going to have Mark on to talk about it in just a little bit, but State is incredibly deep. They have a ton of options on the bench. They have enough guys that are skill position, are position players, that there's going to be a lot of competition throughout the season until they find those guys. And then, the pitching is where, if you said, what's your concern, it's probably pitching, just because there's a lot of talent there, but there's not a ton of proven arms. But I've seen enough of Ryan McPherson. I've seen enough of Ben Davis at Mississippi State. Valinkas was really good at Virginia last year. Pitzer, the guy from South Carolina, had a fantastic summer up in the Cape. So did Duke Stone, who's just rising up draft boards for 2027. So there's a lot of young arm talent there. And bringing Justin Parker back, I think, was a key. That guy has proven that he can get the job done as the pitching coach. They just have a lot. And then, by the way, you brought in 2 freshmen who nobody expected you to have on your roster, in Jack Bauer and Jacob Parker. Parker, everybody thought he would go with his brother to the majors. He's at Mississippi State. Etheridge, I've talked to him a couple of times. He's super high on him. And he's just this is the kind of guy who he will be a Major League Baseball player at some point. And then, when's the last time a lefty who throws 100 made it to college? It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And I don't know what role Bauer has, because that's probably a guy who has to learn how to pitch. My guess is he's been throwing, and you just can't high school kids can't catch up with him, right? But you got to develop some other pitches. So I don't know what his role is this year. He certainly, you hear 100-mile-an-hour left-hander, you think, okay, there's your Friday night starter the next 3 years. That's not going to be the case. But he's going to have a role to play for Mississippi State for sure.
Omaha or bust, huh?
Well, I hate to say that, right?
I agree with you. It's such a volatile sport.
Well, I think what you want to be looking at is you want to be in the position to host a super regional if you're Mississippi State, right? And then if you get to the super regional and you run into a hot team the way they did in 2016, sometimes that just happens, right? As long as they spend most of the year in the top 10 and they're winning more games than they lose in SEC play, they should be just fine. Their schedule is so good, I think you said yesterday, if they have 17 wins in conference play, they'll easily be a top 8 seed. I think right
16's
now
16's hosting, and hell, if their schedule's so tough, 15 might even
probably
be hosting.
Host, yeah. But I think they're going to be better than that. The Arkansas will probably win the conference because they have the easiest schedule outside of Mississippi. They don't play Arkansas, if I'm correct, doesn't play Mississippi. I know they don't play LSU or Texas this year. They don't play Tennessee. They don't play Vanderbilt, and they don't play Texas A&M. So They have some tough series, but they have as easy a schedule as you can get in the SEC.
Arkansas has the easiest, per the pair ratings, the easiest conference schedule in the SEC.
Right. So they'll probably win the conference, but I don't know. But I think when you get into May and June, it'll just be what it always is for Arkansas. They won't go very far. So we'll see what State is. If State was, if O'Connor had been here last year, I think a lot more people would. I think State might have been the preseason number one team in the nation.
Yeah.
But there's so much newness that they do want to see how it all gels together.
Mm-hmm. Brandon says, didn't Ole Miss make it to the super regionals and picked up some guys? Why not ranked? Well, they got bounced in their own regional. Frankly, they just. I know Murray State was good, but you don't lose to a 4 seed in your home regional and call it good. But they were a good team last year. They did meet expectations to avoid talking about Mike Bianco and his job and those kind of weird things. Mm-hmm. They bounced back, and they return a lot. I mean, Hunter Elliott's still going to be on the bump on Friday nights. That's a big deal. I mean, you've got Utermark and Federico and Furness all coming back. Foley also at catcher.
Utermark, pause. The world's largest second baseman.
But between him and Foley and Furness, they're going to hit 1 billion home runs. They're going to strike out a ton, but they're going to hit 1 billion home runs as a team. We'll just see, a couple of transfers, one from Clemson, for example, that they're really high on. There's a lot to like, frankly, about what this team has talent-wise, returning production on the mound. I mean, again, if you have a guy like Elliott on Friday nights, you feel great about game one in every single series you play, regardless of opponent, because he's just that kind of guy. There's a lot to like about this team. Why are they not ranked? I don't know. We're about to ask one of the pollsters here in just a second. But if they take care of business, they will be ranked in short order, and it's a team that you should have because it's got the roster hosting expectations for this year. We'll see if they do, but that is not an unrealistic ask for this team to be in the top 16 when the season's over. So we'll see. We'll talk some more baseball with Mark Etheridge when we return.
To the sports. This is Sports Talk Mississippi.
Sounds good.
On SuperTalk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. We go to the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team, Mississippi. Farm Bureau, Mark Etheridge, D1Baseball.com. The best place that covers college baseball out there. If you're not a subscriber and you want information on college baseball, what are you doing? And he is on your radio right now. Mark, we'll start you with where we left off in the last segment. We were looking at your preseason rankings, and Ole Miss left off of the rankings. Why did the Rebels not make the preseason top 25?
Yeah, just ran out of spots. They were certainly in contention for those last couple of spots. I think that there's a lot to like with the team, certainly with Hunter Elliott returning. I mean, that's a true ace that a lot of people don't have. A lot of returning position players, older players, and then the ones they brought in, so kind of like last year, bring in older players that have performed at a high level. I think the questions for them, and this was probably why the staff felt that they were just a bit shy. The questions will be, you're replacing 2/3 of that rotation that was just so consistent a year ago. And the pitchers that are there might actually have higher ceilings, but they haven't done it before, certainly not at this level. And this league is just so brutal. You look at the teams that we have ahead of them. You look at Texas A&M's roster, you might not find a more talented team than what they've got, right? You look at Vanderbilt, what they were able to do a year ago, it's a really similar club coming back this year. And those are clubs that we've got near the bottom, of the SEC teams in the rankings. So yeah, I think it's just, it's eye of the beholder. That's where the beauty is. And I do think Ole Miss has a great chance impress early in the year, especially going to that Houston tournament. They'll have a chance to crack the top 25 if they play well.
I don't know what the SEC team home run and strikeout record is, but the combination of Fawley, Furtis, and Utermark might take Ole Miss there.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, and I'm sure that's something that they want to cut down on, certainly the strikeouts piece. And that did hurt them in the regional. There's no doubt about that. But I do feel like with those, there's such a physical lineup that there's enough there. There's enough variety. I mean, you look at guys, like a Braden Randall or Dom Decker, the Murray State transfer coming in, Hayden Federico. Those are players that are not swing and miss guys. They might not hit a ton of home runs, but they'll put the ball in play, and I do think that having that mixture will serve them well as the season continues.
Let's work our way up the poll, Mark, and stay here in the state of Mississippi and go to Southern Miss in Hattiesburg. One of the most consistent programs year in and year out. You can just about pencil them in for 40 wins. They'll be in the hosting discussion. The Sun Belt's a really good baseball conference, so you know they're going to be doing okay on the RPI. It does suck that a second year in a row the Sun Belt can't schedule them with a series with Coastal Carolina, but it just is what it is. What do you think about this Golden Eagle team? It looks like, no surprise with Christian Ostrander, they're going to be really strong on the mound.
Yeah, I saw them this fall and did their fall report, so I'm pretty familiar with them. I do feel like it's an older team, which we sense a trend here, and I think 7 of their starters will be fourth-year guys or older. I mean, that's an old team, and I do think that guys like Matthew Russo and Dre Barrett, I think Davis Gillespie's a guy I expect to have a breakout kind of year. Tucker Stockman, a catcher, I feel like he's primed for a big year. They're going to win a lot of games. The question for me, Colby Allen, who's been their closer really the last couple of years, is going to move to the rotation. He could have gone pro, decided to come back and start, and he's if you're going to start, you need more than 2 pitches that you throw regularly, and he's got that now. He's added to his repertoire, and I feel like that's a key. A guy I really liked was Graydon Harris, left-hander. Threw a lot as a freshman last year, but it was more fastball heavy, and he's got a more varied repertoire as well. I think he's going to try to be a 4-pitch guy, and I feel like with that 1-2 punch, they're really good. And the other guy I would mention, McCarty English. He's a guy who's had some injury issues through his time in Hattiesburg, but I mean, the sky's the limit. Just tremendously talented pitcher, had a tremendous fall, and he could be a guy that really breaks through this year.
And then here in Starkville, you and I've had you on the podcast a couple of times to talk about Mississippi State. I think that the thing that I ask myself on the daily basis is, how do you figure out this lineup? They've just got so many options. They're just deep at the position players. In terms of around the country, how does Mississippi State stack up with LSU, UCLA, Texas? The team ranks ahead of them in terms of how much depth they have in that lineup.
Certainly, from a position standpoint, they're as deep as anyone. Now, maybe the high end, there's some teams like a Georgia Tech or UCLA that have more proven players, but that list is really short. And then when you add in Mississippi State's depth, where you can go 12, 15 guys deep, and really, at least on paper, we'll see what happens, but it doesn't look like there'll be a significant drop-off. It's as deep and talented as any roster positionally out there. I think the only questions for me, one is who's going to end up being the catcher. Is Kevin Maluski, the Seton Hall transfer, is he the guy, just this big hulking brute of a slugger, but what does he look like behind the dish? Or does Andrew Raymond, another transfer, does he end up there? You also have Sean James, a Virginia transfer, who's a really good defensive catcher. He'll also play second base, which is kind of an interesting positional dynamic. Where does that end up at catcher? And then I think on the mound, they've got a chance to be really good, but you are replacing just a ton of innings, 3 new weekend starters, and I feel like while we love the talent and there is depth there, They just got to prove it, right? And they're not the only team out there. These rosters flip so much every year. But I do think that Mississippi State has everything they need to have just an incredible season. And man, that home schedule is just phenomenal. I mean, there's going to be so many opportunities for massive crowds, big event kind of series that just resonate across the country. It's just a tremendous time to be as you prepare for this Mississippi State baseball schedule. There's just so much energy around it.
Between Maluski and Utermark, Mississippi State and Ole Miss might have the biggest catcher and the biggest second baseman in all of college baseball. Yeah. Your preseason poll, why UCLA at number 1?
Yeah, they just return so much, right? They've got 8 position starters back from a College World Series team. The 9th, they replaced it with a transfer from Texas, Will Gasparino, who's one of the best defensive center fielders in the country, and is probably going to hit close to 20 home runs. He strikes out a lot, but it's a legit bat. And then they add in on the mound, that they return a ton on the mound, but they added in the Friday night guy from San Diego, who was one of the top pitchers in the portal, and they also got the 50th overall draft pick to give up the pro ball and go to college. And so he'll be a key part of their pitching rotation. It's just one of these teams that they're older, they're experienced, and they return everybody in this era where, the roster volatility has never been greater, and here's a team that just has everyone back from a team that won a ton of games last year.
Only a couple minutes left, Mark. Who's the team that's unranked that you could see being a real contender to go to Omaha this year?
It's a good question. I think certainly you look around a team like Virginia. We did not rank them. They were on our bubble. That's a team that, new pitching coach is obviously is your listeners know, that's where Brian O'Connor came from. Chris Pollard, who was at Duke, is there. I think they've got a chance. But, again, a lot of questions, and that's why we didn't rank them, because so many of their players left to go elsewhere. So they've got a ton of transfers. Another team I would mention would be West Virginia. They were maybe team 26, 27 for us, along with Virginia. Been to 2 straight super regionals. They're going to get there at some point. You continue to win regionals. Eventually, you're not going to have to draw LSU in the box, and you're going to get there. So those would be 2 teams I would highlight.
Mark, I promise you one thing. This will not be the last time you're on this show in the year 2026. We will definitely have you back on early and often to talk college baseball with us, man. Really appreciate your time today.
You got it, man.
Mark Etheridge, D1 Baseball. He joins us on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team, Farm Bureau. I can hear the plink already. It's going to be a fantastic year for baseball here in the state of Mississippi.
Yeah, it is. 31 days until first pitch, by the way. That's 1 month away. 31.
Who does Ole Miss start with?
It's
State starts with Hofstra, the Flying Dutchman.
The Hofstra Pride, right? Isn't that their nickname?
They're no longer the Flying Dutchman?
They're the Pride. Nevada is who Ole Miss
the
opens
Wolfpack.
with. The Wolfpack.
And Southern Miss. Ooh, they got a tough one. UC Santa Barbara coming in. The Gauchos. That's a pretty decent program year in, year out. That'll be a good test for the Golden Eagles to start off.
Southern Miss baseball ain't scared of nobody.
No, ain't scared, no. No, and all 3 teams playing in an invitational tournament in Texas. So, first month of baseball is going to be really, really good. Looking forward to it already. We'll keep it going. When we come back, we'll talk some more baseball. Sports Talk Mississippi.
From the Seabrook.
Take the friggin' wax out of your ear. Did you hear me?
This is Sports Talk Mississippi.
Woo! I say, sports fans.
Now, here's more on SuperTalk Mississippi.
We love baseball around here. Southern Miss fans excited about their team. Ole Miss fans, I think, should be excited about their team. There's a lot of potential there. Is this the most... What?
All right. You can get mad if you want, but, shouldn't you be able to answer that question? Are you excited about the team?
I'm not, and I am not in baseball mode.
Okay.
At all.
That's all. I haven't it feels like you can answer your own questions.
I haven't even thought about baseball, really.
Ah, man.
It's just, you haven't even approached that.
You're like the guy in the hot dog costume. Like, we're all trying to find out who did this.
So I don't know. I assume fans are. I haven't talked about baseball to a single person.
Yeah.
Is this the most anticipated Mississippi State baseball season ever?
It's tough to say ever because I can't speak to what was it like in '85 with Palmeiro and Clark and all those guys coming back, right? The 19 season coming, knowing you brought back most of your team from a College World Series team the year before, and Lemonis was the new head coach. There was a lot of excitement. That was very anticipated. 2016, I think, was interesting because I don't think there was a lot of anticipation. But we knew that team was talented. But the problem was the year before they had finished last in the SEC. Coming out of the 2013 season, when you'd gone to the College World Series finals, there was excitement for 2014. That team ends up not even hosting. But in terms of hype, for preseason hype, this is up there with as much as it's ever been. Somebody asked us on the podcast the other day about could State break its single game attendance record. I mean, they play LSU on April 25th in Starkville. That's Starkville Derby weekend. If LSU if that's a top 5 matchup, that could be number 1 versus number 2 if everything goes according to plan.
How can you add more? There's space for temporary?
It just becomes. It's just like, you know what? You can come in the stadium, but you better have a seat, otherwise you're gonna be real uncomfortable.
I know you go. I don't think you've ever been to a PGA Tour event and actually gone to the event, Hadad. And the one that was here in Jackson is not the best example of this, although they had some impressive stands and builds and stuff.
Yeah.
You look at some of these temporary stands that they build at these golf tournaments on these steep hills and all that stuff and build them really tall. Mm-hmm. Wonder if you what the cost benefit analysis would be on a big weekend like that to back behind the
you'd have a really bad
lounge area.
Yeah, I don't know if you could do it or
not. Build up a PGA Tour temporary thing back there.
I mean, there's trees back there, though. I don't know how you would do it. I don't know how you would set it up.
There's trees on golf courses. They figure it out.
Yeah, but I mean, they're right behind the fence is the problem. So I don't know. But
cut them down.
Yeah, there's a ton of excitement and anticipation, as there should be, for this upcoming season. We know Mississippi State baseball is so precious to Bulldog fans. And since the national title, it just hasn't been at the level those fans expect it to be at. You can't. I still struggle to believe that they went from national champions to miss the tournament 2 years in a row, worst team in the SEC, and then they get back into the tournament 2 years in a row, but they can't host. I mean, it's just hard to believe. But everything's in place now for this team to assume what State fans feel is their rightful position near the top or at the top of the SEC. And we'll see if they can get there.
Did Hadad just say Super B weekend, or did my radio skip? I didn't catch that. So did you say Super B weekend instead of Bulldog?
I didn't. I said Starkville Derby weekend.
That's what it was. That's where he got confused. The
Starkville Derby is that weekend. Super Bulldog weekend is. I have to go back and look. It's a different weekend. I think it's Tennessee. Yeah. Let me see. I could be wrong on that.
After I said I'm not in baseball mode yet, somebody sends a "what a loser" gif. Will Ferrell from Wedding Crashers.
No, I get it. Yeah. No, that is Super Bulldog.
So there's a primary coverage thing on this show. Hadad primarily covers State. I primarily cover Ole Miss. We both watch the other because we think that we need to be informed about both. It's a very good and important dynamic on this show. I'm sorry I haven't gotten in baseball mode. Here, put my Homer hat on. You ready, Hadad?
Yeah.
Because Ole Miss made the college football playoff semifinal. My mind has been focused on being able to talk about a football team that made it all the way to the semifinal.
Right,
so if that makes me a loser, then I'll be a loser every year. All right? I am the biggest loser as it turns out.
Somebody clip that. I'll clip it later. Don't worry. It is Super Bulldog weekend. So you've got Super Bulldog weekend and the Starkville Derby and LSU coming to town. I mean, at that point, you could play that game at Davis Wade and probably put 30,000 in there if you wanted to. Jeez.
Keith says build luxury tree houses and sell them out. I used to watch that show all the time. The treehouse builder guy.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
People dropping $300,000 on a treehouse, though.
Well, if you got it, I guess.
Jeff wants to know what the Derby is. So it's actually a thing that started just a grassroots level, and now it's becoming like a big deal.
60,000 people in the Cotton District last year. That's the world's largest wiener dog race.
Going to be 120 next year.
I believe I will be on the call for it again this year.
Nice.
So, along with our new Grand Marshal, Brandon Walker.
I need to go.
Just be here.
I need to go.
April 25th.
April 25th.
Make your plans. Do what you got to do. You can bring James or not. But
he'd love it.
I mean, he would. You can bring your dog, too. In fact, June. No, stay with me. June is the three-legged dog, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have a race for dogs like that. Can she run?
Oh, yeah.
You should sign her up.
But she's too excitable, and it wears her out so much so quickly. She's just
there's just dogs everywhere around the Cotton District. It's so much fun.
Is Dave Van Horn the most cursed coach in college baseball? Yes. He's got a curse.
I don't see how you can get away from that. I mean, the guy should probably have 3 national titles, and he has none.
Andy, I see your message. I can't read it, but I see it, and you made me laugh. Thank you. Man. If O'Connor lives up to the expectations, somebody says, you might have to think about expanding, or at least providing yourself the opportunity for temporary stands for the big weekends, right? When you're playing Mercer or whoever in February, you don't want... Do you really want to spend the money for just a few weekends a year on a true expansion? Maybe you do. I don't know. Maybe that answer is yes. But exploring the possibility of having temporary expansion for a super regional, for a Super Bulldog weekend against the number 2 team in the country, those kind of things, where you don't have empty stands more often, I guess is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah. So Andrew in Oxford says that's also double-decker weekend. Is that right?
I have no idea what double-decker weekend is. I have no idea.
Double-decker weekend, it is. Just go ahead and tell you that I'm probably not coming on Friday to Oxford.
Hey, here's our idea, Hadad.
Dual remotes?
Dual remotes.
It should happen. We should absolutely do that. I can easily sell one here in Starkville.
Dual remote. That's exactly what we'll do.
All right.
I got to make a couple phone calls in the morning.
Yeah.
Actually, that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Put one of us in Starkville and one of us in Oxford.
That would be a great idea.
But yeah.
Absolutely.
So. I'm definitely not missing Friday night baseball at the Dude versus LSU. I'm just not. I'll just go ahead and tell you that I can't make that one.
Hey, Dad, I would not ask you to.
Yeah.
I mean, if the dual remote thing doesn't happen, I'm not your boss.
Yeah.
You're getting the day off.
Yeah. I'm going to send a text real quick.
Let's just get it done right now. Planning live on the air. Somebody says, I've been on the season ticket waiting list for 11 years with no luck. Wow. Is that...
That's possible, yeah.
So obviously they sell out season tickets. A decade-plus long waiting list to buy season tickets.
Those things are like Packers tickets, man. They get passed down.
So maybe just there is the opportunity for just a permanent expansion then.
The problem with that is in this day and age, this is a $70 million stadium that opened 7 years ago. Are you really going to put more money into baseball in this day and age? I don't think they are. It just is what it is right now. Especially
when whatever that costs could buy you a few offensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
Which we will get to in the college football fix, because apparently there's been some purchasing of some linemen. And I don't say that
you got to stop quantifying it.
No.
This is the day and age of college football we're in. You buy players.
I met a listener recently at a restaurant, and the one thing he told me was he takes exception to us describing recruiting in that way. And I appreciated the feedback. I always appreciate the feedback. But that's what you're doing. That's what I told him. I was like, man, that's what you're doing now. You just got to recalibrate your brain. That is...
It's totally normal.
It's totally normal. It's a good thing. It's a compliment. We'll talk about that. A lot of lineman talk for the portal update for both State and Ole Miss. We will do that at the start of the next hour. But right now, we got to take a quick timeout, read some more of your messages. And I've got a question for Hadad about a player that Hadad likes that is doing one of the worst things that I've seen in sports.
Oh, I can't wait. I don't know what this is. I'm excited.
Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll be back.
Back to Sports Talk Mississippi.
Are you ready?
On the SuperTalk app, supertalk.fm, and always on your local SuperTalk Mississippi station.
Welcome back. Borkey and Hadad, Sports Talk Mississippi. We all know that Brian Hadad is a fan of the Los Angeles Lakers. Has been a fan of the Los Angeles Lakers for quite some time. That predates LeBron James.
It does. Predates Kobe Bryant.
Which is incredible that you've held on this long. What sports fans do...
When your team wins 11 world titles in your lifetime, they don't really do much to push you away.
No. Which reminds me, I can't wait to watch the Pelicans lose again.
Yeah.
It'll be great. LeBron James is a Laker. He's going to retire a Laker. He's 41 years old, but he is still playing. LeBron James is wearing, or will wear, a patch on his jersey commemorating his 23rd season of play in the NBA. He is wearing a patch on his own jersey commemorating his longevity accomplishment. The patch looks like this. It is a silhouette of LeBron with both hands in the air, and it has 23 on it with the colors of the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Los Angeles Lakers on it. And it has the number 23, and it says NBA seasons on it. He is wearing a patch to commemorate himself on his own jersey.
That's a little weird.
A little?
It's a little weird.
I
thought you were going to tell me that somebody had,
No, there was hyperbole in that statement,
cockfighting ring or something.
There's not that.
Okay.
In terms of, innocent things that aren't criminal, this is the worst. If we spend time calling Lane Kiffin a narcissist, even Lane Kiffin wouldn't commemorate himself on his own jersey.
First off, he might.
He might, actually.
But secondly, it's I'm not a fan of that. No.
You can't commemorate yourself. You can't do that. That's so... What? That's
that's not great.
It's not great at all. It's bizarre, is what that is. Somebody should step in and say, "Hey, LeBron, man."
How do you do that though? How do you tell him? I mean, it's just difficult. I get it. So, hey, I'm not a big fan though.
Somebody says it sounds like something Kim Jong-un would do. Yeah, it's like I had 18 holes in one when I played golf today.
Yeah.
It's Ron Burgundy. Hey, everyone, come tell me how good I look. That's what that is. Oh, man.
That's good stuff.
Somebody says, I read something in the last few days that said something to the effect of LeBron James has played against 25% of every NBA player that has ever played in the league.
I believe that's correct, yeah.
23 seasons is a remarkable accomplishment.
It's something. I saw something the other day. This was a good LeBron one. You know who Kevin Willis is, right? Yes, no, maybe?
Kevin Willis?
Yeah, he played for the Hawks. He was a center.
Okay.
All right. He's like
a little
60,
before my time.
He's 60 years old, right? Yeah, they said a little before your time, right? He played on the same team with Dominique Wilkins.
He's 63.
All right, so he's 63, Kevin Willis. Cooper Flagg, number 1 pick in the draft, right? Mm-hmm. 19 years old. Both played against LeBron James.
That is unbelievable.
That doesn't make any sense, right? But that's the true story.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, LeBron commemorating himself. Will Luka wear the patch? That's the only Laker that matters now.
We're just forgetting about Austin Reeves. I mean, he's been injured, but he's really good.
They're cutting those patches off after each game and putting them on Topps trading cards. I saw that. Yeah, I mean, like, that's a market that I don't understand, by the way.
Trading cards?
Like, Zion's trading cards are unbelievably expensive. What has he done to command such money? He's
just popular.
I guess, but like, I mean, he's at least staying on the court, so that's a thing. But he doesn't contribute to winning at all. He's lazy. He's got off the court stuff that's problematic now. I mean, he's a guy that's not equipped to be the true definition of a professional.
Yeah.
But his trading cards are selling for like $50,000. It's like, do you think that this is going to appreciate in value, or are you just buying an F-150 from Belk Ford or Oxford Toyota and driving it off the lot? I mean,
they're like the new what were those things called? NFTs.
Seriously, Zion trading cards an NFT.
Yeah, it's like you think it's going to be worth something, and then you're going to look up in a couple of years and you have a bunch of pictures of random film stars dressed up as Robin Hood. I don't know what it is, so yeah,
I don't either. We will come back, though, with your As the Portal Turns update. Frankly, a lot of good news that we've got to get to today, specifically on the lines of scrimmage for both Mississippi State and Ole Miss. So we will get to that, again, after the news for your college football fix. We're in the Pearl River Resort studio. Text us on the C Spire text line, 601-879-4395. We'll be right back.
Super Talk Mississippi.
Introducing to you
Sports Talk Mississippi.
All right, you know the drill by now. It is just after 5 o'clock. I'm Michael Borkey. He's Brian Hadad. It's time for As the Transfer Portal World. Say that 3 times fast. Transfer Portal World. There you go. Turns for your college football fix.
The College Football Fix is presented by your Mississippi Ford dealers. Built Ford Tough. That's what the best-selling truck in America is, and it's been that way, the Ford F-150, for over 50 years. Don't waste your time. Buy the best-selling truck in America. If you're looking for a new truck right now, the only place to go is your Mississippi Ford dealers. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
All right, we're talking trenches mostly today. Mississippi State will lead us off. Hey, Dad.
Yeah. So one of State's big needs, no pun intended, was the nose guard position. They had to get somebody to anchor Arnett's 3-3-5 defense. And, you know, there's not a Jeff Simmons out there, right? And the thing I've been saying the past few weeks is you can't find a Jeff Simmons. Those guys aren't going to hit the portal very often. You know, Ole Miss a year ago hit an absolute jackpot getting Walter Nolan. That's a very rare thing. But can you go out and get a player like Cam Young, who was a really good middle-of-the-defense player for Mississippi State? I think that was very doable. State hopes they have found their guy in Texas A&M defensive lineman Dalen Evans. Big kid, 6'5", 315 pounds, a guy that'll be difficult to move, who can plug up the middle. And, you know, Arnett's defenses, if you remember, Borkey, are predicated around the linemen eating up space and the linebackers making the tackles. Buki Watson and Jet Johnson, I think a combined I think they combined for well over 17,000 tackles in their 3 years starting for Mississippi State. And they just know how to get linebackers free. State has a good young linebacker core with Tyler Lockhart, with Jalen Smith. I'm leaving somebody out there, but regardless, this was a guy they needed a space eater in the middle, and they've got that in Dalen Evans. And then not long after that, on the other side of the ball, State continues to find these young, interesting offensive linemen who I don't know if they contribute next year, but we've been saying for the past few years as this portal has come along, Borkey, you and I have said, your offensive line, you really got to get guys in there that you can keep and develop for a couple years.
Yep.
State appears to be trying to do that, and that's with Tyler Miller from Laurel, Mississippi, signed with LSU out of high school. I mean, a year ago, Mississippi State fans were incensed that the two top offensive linemen in the state, Mario Nash and Tyler Miller, went out of state for college. Guess what? Sometimes it works. It's good to finish second because they are both now at Mississippi State. So Miller, Nash, Prudhomme was another guy State recruited very hard. Now he's at Mississippi State. He's a guy who might actually contribute next year on that offensive line. State still needs to go out and try to find a bona fide left tackle. Now, it's one of those things where it's probably a good thing that Charlie Winfield runs things and not me, because I would have already called Jordan Seaton and been like, how does $4 million sound? Do you like allow me to introduce you to fried catfish here in the great state of Mississippi? But if they can go out and find a serviceable, good, decent left tackle, they need to get a pass rusher still. They don't have that. They don't have that solid guy coming off the edge yet, but this team is getting better each day, and the chances for success continue to grow each day. And this is still the dead period. No visitors right now. This weekend coming up for Mississippi State could be a very big one. I'm interested to see what that visit list looks like.
This is the last weekend for players to enter the portal. I think you'll have another weekend after of true visitors.
Yeah.
And then players will come all week long because they have to enroll in school and stuff like that. But you've got another couple weeks of this anyway. But is it fair to say what they've created today is a path, right? You can see a path to improvement on the lines of scrimmage. Like you said, I mean, Miller's not experienced at all, but there's the talent there. Evans, not experienced at all, but four-star defensive tackles don't grow on trees.
Right.
The talent's there and has a ton of eligibility. That's what you've got now on the offensive line, right? It's Chester, another one. We talked about him, was it yesterday or Friday?
When
did he commit? Yesterday?
It was yesterday, yeah.
Those are guys that were recruited by SEC schools out of high school, and it's not like they spent 4 years at them and have never gotten on the field either,
right.
Where it's that guy never played. Why did he not play? That's a problem. Dude's got 4 years of eligibility left and has raw talent, spent his first year in an SEC program. There's a path for the offensive line to be improved when you get guys like that on it.
It's about being better next year. Yeah, you went from 2 to 5. Can you go from 5 to 7 or 8 next year? And 7 would be really low, I think. I think that's, at 7 and 5, you're looking at Lebby and going, are we sure about this? But 2027, with the guys they're bringing in, these are guys that you have an eye to the future for the last year with Kamario Taylor as your starting quarterback. So, yeah, they got a long way to go. They still need some pieces for this year. I was thinking about this today, with State. To win 8 next year, you've got to win 5 SEC games, right? And you have to be 3-0 in your non-conference, and that trip to Minnesota is not easy. But you've got to go 5-4. This is a program that's won a total of 2 SEC games the last 3 years. It's just a massive, massive jump. Now, the schedule is easier, and easy is relative when we're talking about the SEC, but that's going to be a huge jump. You can do that if Kamario Taylor is indeed an elite player. But if he's just a good player, it's going to be really tough. So they need him to deliver on the hype that he's going to have to deal with all offseason.
There you go.
All right.
Really,
what about the Rebels? What do they got going in the portal today?
So it's 2 guys that we need to talk about, and 2 on the position that this time yesterday was a concern. They got the, I don't know if you want to call it recommitment, whatever, from Delano Townsend, their starting left guard this season. Remember, he entered the transfer portal, and that was significant because you're already losing both of your tackles, right? Pounds and Williams are off to the NFL. But the sticking point with this offensive line is you're returning 60% of it, right? The two guards in the center coming back, and that's a great place to start. You've got a guy that I didn't mention yesterday, Terez Davis. He was the Maryland transfer, was a starter at Maryland, has the opportunity to be one of your tackles, so he's already on roster. There's the opportunity, and they've already gotten Kern from LSU, to have a lot of familiarity on the offensive line. And then Townsend hits the portal. Mm-hmm. And then Devin Harper hits the portal, even though he had already signed with Ole Miss. Sounds like a buyout's coming. Which is a good thing, by the way. College football needs that. So if that does in fact happen, even if he leaves, at least there was a contract that was enforced. But anyway, it looked kind of dire yesterday. Getting Townsend to return is significant, not only because of continuity, because he's a starter, but just the familiarity of it all. And then the schools that made a run after that guy. You can guess one that made a run at him, but he's from Michigan. Michigan was involved. Missouri was involved. And you did what you had to do to keep a starting offensive lineman, even if you had to pay more than you wanted to. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you got to do that. If you want to get quality players on the offensive line, especially ones that have already played in your system, that are already familiar with the other guys, you know what I mean? It's just, if you had to spend more to fight off LSU, then by God, you got to spend more to fight off LSU to keep a guy like that on your roster. So, however, apparently Pete Golding took it upon himself to make this one work. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what people are saying. Mm-hmm. Regardless of who took this by the horns to get it done, you needed continuity on the offensive line, and you are keeping it. This time yesterday, you didn't think you were keeping it, but you returned 60% of your offensive linemen. That's nothing wrong with that. That was an important thing. And they also added depth today. Troy Everett, Oklahoma's center, started at Appalachian State, has started games at Oklahoma as well. I could be totally misreading it. As I understand it, Hadad, it would be a very clear depth addition. He's battled some injuries and things like that, and just is not going to be a frontline starter. But you bring a guy like him in if you can, who has starting experience in the league. Yeah. But he's just had trouble staying healthy, and that's just kind of been the downfall of his career in effect. And so, because he's not taking Bryson Sanders' job. There's no way.
Could he play guard?
But he's not taking either of the guards' jobs either.
Well, there you go then.
But yeah, so they added depth there as well. And in terms of Devin Harper, have not seen what's going to happen there. A guy that you thought was going to be one of your tackles, who signed with you, that is seemingly heavily involved in LSU. He's from Louisiana. There's some kind of a holdup. The rumor is he does have a buyout in his contract, so maybe they're trying to work through that. So there you go. There's your update. Ole Miss is hosting, I think, 2 offensive linemen on Thursday. One of them they're having to fight Alabama for, a Louisiana Monroe transfer at tackle. We'll see. There's your portal update and your college football fix. We'll be right back. Driven by Ford.
From the Venable Glass Talk Mississippi continues.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. Hey, that sounded like you were going to say something before we had to cut to break there.
Oh, I was just going to say, down in Hattiesburg, I was looking at their Twitter ticker for Southern Miss football. They announced 12 signees today.
There you go.
Including their, I don't know if it'll be the starting quarterback, but their quarterback they brought in, Ethan Hampton, previously at Northern Illinois, and then it was at Illinois this past year, backing up Luke Altmaier. He was the starting quarterback for Northern Illinois, though, when they were in South Bend and knocking off Notre Dame 2 seasons ago. Also, a former Ole Miss Rebel has made his way to Hattiesburg. Jeffrey Rush, defensive lineman from Pascagoula, was announced by Southern Miss as a signee today.
Yeah, those are the kind of guys that's at that level, that's who you win with.
Yeah.
A guy that you couldn't get in traditional recruiting that, just couldn't break the rotation on an SEC defensive line, but has talent and ability. And, he spent time in an SEC strength and conditioning program. Those guys don't grow on trees, man.
No. So 12 signees in a day is ridiculous. That's a lot. They obviously were holding them up.
Yeah, Blake Anderson's been busy.
He's got to be busy, man. That's a lot of players he's got to replace.
Somebody says, did Pete pay out of his own pocket? No, I don't think that's allowed. It did make me laugh this morning, though. Once,
it's like Billy Bean. He's like, when I sell him next year, I'm keeping the profit.
When the news broke this morning that they were able to keep Townsend, I don't feel bad for the millionaire football coaches. I've said it on this show for years. Their complaints just ring hollow to me.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'll do the math here in real time. So Pete Golding it's over $7 million, but let's just call it $7 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
That is $134,600 a week. I don't feel bad for them having to work extra hours and all the complaints they have about, I have to keep my roster together. Okay, that's what you get paid millions of dollars to do. I did kind of laugh to myself. What kind of day do you think Pete Golding had yesterday? After all the stuff that he dealt with, and they play, and he deals with the Kiffin leaving, and they make a run in the playoff, and they get back, and they sign a bunch of players, and they keep a bunch of players, and that's all great. And Lacey coming back, and now he's got to deal with the Trinidad lawsuit, and growing confidence that they're going to win that, by the way, or at least get him to play next year. But you deal with all that stuff, and then you finally get to breathe for a little bit. Okay, it's a dead period. The coaches' convention's happening. No visitors are allowed. I can just relax. Just for a couple days. And then Delano Townsend hits the transfer portal. Yeah. And it's like, oh my gosh, can I just for 1 minute breathe? I bet he and Jeff Lebby and all these coaches are going to take a pretty awesome vacation here in a couple of weeks. I don't know where they're going to go, but they're going to go somewhere great.
And they should, Especially Golding. The guy was just in the playoff. He had his team in the Final Four. So, yeah, Lebby, a little different, but, you can't argue that Golding deserves a little bit of a break, for sure.
It does crack me up that we do have a dead period in the middle of the portal window.
Yeah.
It's only 3 days or whatever, but still.
Yeah.
It's a bit ridiculous. Speaking of, we did, somebody asked, did we see that they're trying to change the red shirt to where guys can play up to 9 games instead of 4?
They just refuse to just do 5 and 5. Just make it 5 and 5.
Here's why they're doing it this way. They're going to, you just have 5 years. No more red shirts, nothing, you got 5 years. But why they can't just bite the bullet on that is it would essentially eliminate the need for one full high school class.
Right.
And so doing it this way this year and then going to the full 5 for 5 next year apparently is easier on the high school players looking for a roster spot.
Okay.
That was the explanation. I can't quite figure out the math on that, but that is what the explanation was. And also they're afraid of lawsuits. Go figure.
Right. Because it's going to be, I didn't get 5 years, The fact that everybody is just suing the NCAA nonstop makes it difficult to change rules.
It really does. But yeah, I think it's Cole Kubler brought this up first. I'm going to steal his thought that the 4-game redshirt rule created a situation where players would leave their team after 4 games. You saw that. It's not incredibly common, but you have seen that. Now they're just going to do it after 9.
Yeah.
So you're going to have players leave their teams in November, and I know you had a coach leave a team in November, so it's hard to bemoan the players for and that's their justification for it, right? Is if Lane Kiffin can do it, then I can too.
Right.
But old man yells at cloud take here. The fact that we accept that as okay is pathetic to me.
Well, I don't think we accept it as okay.
It
just happened.
But people justify it. How could you possibly be an adult in these young men's lives and say, actually, it's good that you're leaving your football team after 4 games? That's the right decision to make. Notre Dame aired the conversation that Marcus Freeman had with his team captains after they decided to opt out of a bowl game, as if it's like a good thing. Freeman said, I've never been prouder of a football team for making this decision. They quit. Well, we are normalizing quitting on our commitments. And I'm not talking about recruiting. Forget the commitment doesn't mean anything in recruiting. But we're normalizing it. And I did it a second ago with Devin Harper. Well, if Ole Miss gets some money back, then great. Don't sign anything unless you intend on fulfilling that, right? Mm-hmm. That's what I can't understand. The direction that we're going. It's not just football. It's just in life. Are we completely incapable of just staying true to our word? I understand circumstances happen. Things happen to people in life, and things are out of your control that change circumstances. But, I'm not playing enough after 4 games, so I'm going to leave my team. Mm-hmm. If that was my son, I'd be embarrassed that he didn't listen to me and, no, you will finish this season out, and you will deal with whatever when it's over. Why is that not common practice everywhere? Quitting is just like a cool thing to do now. Or a normal thing to do that people don't criticize anymore.
It's just the way that it has become. And like it or not, it really is the way that it is.
I mean, you had Nick Saban sit on the set of College Game Day not criticizing, normalizing, being okay with Lane Kiffin quitting on his team. You would never have done that, and you never would have let an assistant do that. How do we know? Because we watched that happen.
Right.
This idea, he got to hit the portal. He's not playing enough. He's got a red shirt. He's got to think about himself. What about everybody else around
him? You can hit the portal, but like some of the I got to stop right now. I mean, think about Mississippi State, Johnny Daniels. He just transferred to Tulane, right? Came into the season, was probably your third running back behind Booth and Bothwell. After 4 games, he knew he wasn't going to play very much, so he decided to pull the plug, right? But then Bothwell gets hurt. But you can't go back to him at that point. He's made his decision. It should have been hey, here's your opportunity. But it wasn't like that at all.
Somebody says, Borkey, would you leave SuperTalk for $100K? If I was intending on taking another job in November, I would work until November.
Yeah.
I would work until November.
It's a different situation because our jobs don't have a season.
We don't have a season, and we don't have a contract.
Right. It's just totally different.
But if I was intending to leave at a certain date, I would work until that day. The players can leave schools. I don't mind transferring. But this whole, I'm going to quit after 4 games. Good luck, guys. No, garbage. It's absolute garbage. I got a new job offer. It takes in January. See you, Hadad. I'm out. No. I would provide my company the opportunity to fill my role when and how they see fit. And if they asked me to work until the day I was going to the next job, guess what I would do? That's what I would do. It's easy to have principles, and we're just abandoning them. It's crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy to me. Tony says, why November? It was an example, man. I'm not going anywhere. They'll have to pry me out of this studio. They will have to carry me kicking and screaming out of this studio. I am a Mississippi lifer. I'm not leaving. This is home.
Well, it's unfortunate to hear you say that because I've got some terrible news. We're moving on from you, Borkey.
601-879-4395. 601-879-4395, the C Spire text line. So glad that you guys are with us, as you always are.
There is a basketball game tonight. Maybe we spend a moment talking about that.
I was literally about to tease. We got basketball.
Yeah, let's do that when we come back.
And we're going to do that when we come back. Sports Talk Mississippi. That's your As the Portal Turns, as I rant about old man stuff. Let's talk about hoops, an important one for State against a team that has a dissatisfied head coach. We'll talk about that when we come back.
'From theSeabrook.com.
From the flatlands of Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi.
Every minute worth waiting for.
Super Talk Mississippi.
Eight o'clock tonight, Humphrey Coliseum. The Alabama Crimson Tide come to Starkville, and Hadad, Nate Oates, they score a lot. Not too pleased with the effort of his guards in particular lately, though, going into this one.
Yeah, they do score a lot. 93 points a game. No question about that. But they give up a lot of points, too. They're giving up about 84 points per game. So it's going to be a track meet for Mississippi State. Can they keep up with the Crimson Tide? You know, these games against Alabama, Chris Chance has had zero success, has never beaten them. 0-7, including one in the SEC tournament. Last year, just a heartbreaking game here in Starkville. The State had a chance to win there at the end and did not. So, sold-out crowd was announced today. State, both home games this week are sold out for Mississippi State. Students back in town, 8 o'clock tip, so could be quite the atmosphere, but Hubbard has got to have his running mates go with him, all right? Epps and McGee have to show up in this game for State to have a chance. I believe in Hubbard. He'll get his 20 points plus. Who shows up with him? Can Epps be around 15, 16 points? Can McGee be around 15, 16 points? Can Achor give you another double-double, which would be his, I believe, third in his last 4 games? If you can get all those kind of things, you got a chance to stay in the game. Alabama has had some injury issues as well. A couple of their top players may not play in this one. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't have a lot of optimism for this. Even if State had beaten Kentucky, I wouldn't have a lot of optimism. Jans just cannot beat Nate Oates. He has his number. But we'll see what happens.
Student-athlete availability report we have for basketball.
Hold on real quick. Tyler Gincorth, why did State not win that game against Alabama? Keyshawn Murphy blew a layup there at the end. You might remember.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's very tough, very tough.
Out for Alabama, Davion Hannah, and I am looking for stats, and I'm not. I mean, he's played in 10 games this year, averages 12 minutes per game and 3 points. Mm. And then Collins on, Onyejeaka.
He's been out most of the year, so that's not an issue.
He's only played in 2 games this year. Doubtful, Latrell Wrightsell for Alabama.
Now we're getting somewhere. This is a guy who averages 11 points per game for the Crimson Tide.
11 points per game, 25 minutes per game as well. Has played in 10 games, so been battling injuries as well. And Taylor Ball-Bowen played in 14 games, averaging 9 points per game and 22 minutes. Those are two guys that
they're 4th and 5th best scorers.
Yeah, not outside shooters, neither one, but still.
So a guy like LeBaron Filan, who's battling with Hubbard at the top of the SEC for the scoring title, really, and of course, lest we forget somebody, Borkey, I want you to go ahead and I want you to do something here. Look at this roster. I'm sure do you have the Alabama roster in front of you?
I do.
Pick the guy that averages less than 5 points per game that will score 20 tonight. Will it be Kelton Bristow? Will it be Davion Hannah?
36% from 3.
There it is. He's going 6 of 11 tonight from deep. I can feel it in my bones.
Yeah, they have 7 players that average 35% or better from 3.
That's the
7.
That's the Nate Oates. That's how he says. It's like if a Lane Kiffin team has a bunch of receivers with catches. That's what it is. So Around the SEC, 3.
What an opportunity tonight, though, right? I mean, it's a winnable game. It's a team that's struggling a little bit compared to them.
Winnable is maybe a stretch. It's a really good Alabama basketball team. They are coming off of a loss, so you know you're going to have their full focus. But in a Humphrey Coliseum where maybe it's a little crazy, and maybe you can find a way to do something.
Line is 4.5, by the way.
Ooh, that's stinky. Don't like that. Don't like that. So all of your matchups tonight in the SEC have one ranked team against an unranked team. Texas A&M is at Tennessee tonight. That's your 6 o'clock tip right as we go off the air. And then at 8 o'clock, you got two games, as we mentioned, number 18 number 18 Alabama at Mississippi State. Number 19 Florida coming off that really nice win over Tennessee. They'll be at Oklahoma, who I don't believe has won. No, they beat Ole Miss the first game.
They did, yep.
So they're 1-2 in conference play. They can't afford to lose another home game. Tomorrow in the conference, Auburn at Missouri, Kentucky at LSU, and Ole Miss is at Georgia.
Yes, they are. 6 o'clock tomorrow.
What are we missing here? What else is that can't be all the games, right? There's got to be a couple more games tomorrow.
Buys for some.
There is. Yeah, Vanderbilt is at Texas, and South Carolina is at Arkansas. Vanderbilt, the top-ranked team in the SEC, number 10 in the country, still undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
But tonight's game, huge opportunity for State. You mentioned it. If they want to keep playing meaningful basketball, they've got to win one of these next two. Got to.
Yeah, just 1-1. Now, that being said, it's kind of interesting, right? If State wins tonight, then you need to be 2-0. You can't follow up a great win with a. I mean, I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings.
There's no feelings to hurt. Ole Miss is at the bottom of the net in the SEC.
They're in the hundreds, I believe. You can't lose that game. So if you win tonight, yes, you have to be 2-0. But if you lose tonight and you beat Ole Miss, you're still hanging around. Hanging around. Kid's got alligator blood. Can't get rid of him. So yeah, that's where State is tonight. They find a way to win. Can be 2-0 on the week. Great.
Ole Miss is 98 in the net now.
The Missouri win pushed them up a little bit. So
dead last in the SEC. How about that?
They're last in net.
South Carolina's 90, State's 89, Missouri 76.
Where's LSU?
44?
That's right. LSU got off to a good start. So.
Yeah, they're 12-4.
But they're 0-3 in the conference.
Yeah, they're stinky now.
Yeah.
The science, by the way, I know that's more of a podcast bit, but the science says that Alabama's going to win by $1 billion tonight,
That's right. Something good has happened for Mississippi State today. They got a couple of good commitments. So here's how the science works, and I feel like we need to give, because people ask me all the time, like, is this the science? Here's what the science is. If something good happens for Mississippi State, it means two good things won't happen. So in other words, you can't get a couple of good commitments out of the portal and then win the basketball game. Now, the opposite can be true, right? Two bad things can absolutely happen. They could get no commitments and still lose the basketball game. But they're definitely only getting one.
What happens if they win tonight? Then
Well, that's an outlier of the science, all right? That's like, like the sun is supposed to, radiate at a certain temperature every day. Maybe one day you have a flare and, the earth nearly gets burned to death. But you just miss it. So, it's just an outlier. We monitor the science at all times. We've got top men keeping an eye on this. Top men.
Somebody says crazy stat. Vandy men and women are 33-0.
Wow, Vandy women are undefeated? I didn't know that.
I did not know that.
That women's basketball program is usually not very good.
Somebody texted about it earlier. We didn't break it down. Has the switch flipped in the women's basketball Egg Bowl?
Well, I mean, it's been flipped since Vic Schaefer left.
Yeah, it's just like Ole Miss right now is
they're the better program. Yeah, the top to bottom. Yeah, Ole Miss won easily this weekend. And I hate that they only play once a year now. It's really
ridiculous.
Weird. Yeah, like, why is State and Ole Miss not playing each other twice a year?
Well, because the SEC has to stick it to Vic Schaefer in Texas because the league has a vendetta against Texas. That's what he said. Yeah.
Coach Yo has got that program humming along. She's got that program. It's not where State was under Schaefer, but it's still really, really good.
No, a deep run is required, right? Because they are investing a whole heck of a lot of money.
Yeah.
And there needs to be the fruits of that.
They were Sweet 16 last year, weren't they?
They went to the Sweet
women?
16.
Yeah.
She's built
back-to-back Sweet 16s, I think. I could be wrong.
Was it Cam Brink? Didn't they beat her a couple years ago at Stanford?
Yeah. No, Stanford beat them, I thought, in the Sweet 16. Am I wrong? I don't know. I'll be the first one to tell you.
Why are you not watching all of Ole Miss women's basketball?
I don't keep up with the Ole Miss women's basketball as much as you'd like. So.
But yeah, there you go. There you go. Wild card ratings in the NFL, as you can imagine, unbelievable. The Prime number blows my mind. On Prime, they did 31.6 million people.
I was one of them.
I was one of them, too.
I was watching.
Packers, Bears. Rams, Panthers did 28 million. Game one on a Saturday.
Saturday at 3:30. I mean, that's pretty good there.
Bills, Jags on CBS, 32.7 million people. Niners, Eagles on Fox, 41 million people. That is double, more than double, what Indiana, Oregon did. That's more than double what Ole Miss Miami did.
Yeah.
Insane. And then the boring game on NBC still did 30 million people, Chargers, Patriots.
I mean, Sunday night game, yeah.
And it was the boring one.
Yeah, it was. There was no excitement to that. I mean, this weekend, I mean, look at the matchups. Sunday night, LA and Chicago. I mean, that should be massive. Absolutely massive ratings for that game.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. Just unbelievable. We didn't talk, by the way, about how Justin Herbert was sacrificed to the football gods by his own offensive line. One of the more atrocious performances from a group of...
They're beat up. There's a lot of injuries there, but the guys that are out there, like, get in the way, trip somebody, fall down and make it more difficult. Do something.
We will wrap the show up with you next.
From the Venable Sports Talk Mississippi, Super Talk Mississippi.
Wrapping up the show with you, Sports Talk Mississippi, Michael Borkey and Brian Hadad. We got this question. CJ, it's a complicated answer. He says, what's the status on Trinidad's waiver? Read too many conflicting statements. Well, I would have encouraged you to avoid Facebook and just random people on Twitter because that is the least likely accurate information that you can read. Here is how I understand it. And by the way, it's two different things. So there's a waiver that they're trying to get, and then also there's a legal court case that's about to start. The waiver is through the NCAA. The waiver to play got denied. They are appealing to a higher committee. According to Ross Dellinger, that committee was supposed to meet at convention this week. They did today. They didn't talk about Trinidad. Apparently, according to Ross, because of the timing, they're not even going to decide this week on whether or not they hear his appeal. The NCAA for you. The other side of this is the legal side. That is Tom Mars and William Liston, also who's a Mississippi attorney, are going to go to battle with the NCAA if they don't grant him a waiver on appeal. Tom Mars is he's not firing all of his bullets, but he is showing on Twitter what their case is, and a lot of legal analysts, there's one that I'm trying to get on the show, a sports law analyst, think that what Mars has is enough to get Trinidad to play next year. Every legal person cautions you, do not call it 100%, because it never is. But it sounds like the discourse today is Mars has kind of got him. And he's probably going to play next year. The answer, though, CJ, that's a long-winded way to say we don't know yet what the status is. They're fighting it on two different fronts. If you made me bet, I would bet that the NCAA still denies it, and they take it to a Mississippi judge, and he will decide Trinidad's fate for 2026. That's all you got right now.
Yeah, we're in the hurry up and wait mode right now.
Pretty much. It sounds like everybody expects him to be their quarterback in 26 at this point. Caution, not 100%, but it does sound like that is the present expectation, barring NFL feedback that changes. Because right now the NFL feedback does not make.
I can't imagine it's going to change to the point where he's willing to come to leave. Like he's not going to jump up to a second or third round pick. I don't think. I could be wrong, but we'll see.
Somebody says I owe him his car if he doesn't play for Ole Miss next year. I've never bet my car or anything. I have not come anywhere close to telling you that it's a guarantee that he's playing for Ole Miss next year. Don't you try to get me into a bet that I did not offer, sir.
You did bet your car.
No, I did not.
I remember saying nobody would want your car.
Oh, that is true. I mean, nobody would.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still some resale value or trade-in value on that, I guess. If you went to Belfort or Oxford Toyota, they would probably take it for a good price because that's what they do there. They take care of their customers. Highway 6 West in Oxford. That's what they do. So they'd probably give you pretty good resale value on that.
Yeah.
CJ just sent laughing emojis with thanks. I mean, that's where we are, CJ. That is where we are. College sports. College sports. This time tomorrow, do you think we'll get – I'm fairly certain there's going to be more portal retention news for us to talk about from the Ole Miss side tomorrow, Hadad. Aside from basketball, of course, do you think there's anything else coming down the pipe, or is tomorrow going to be kind of a low-key day considering it's supposed to be a dead period?
I would think for sure Mississippi State will probably get at least one commitment. I could be wrong, but we'll see. Beyond that, though, yeah, I don't. You know, retention-wise, State's done. I don't know who else they could announce at this point.
Ole Miss still waiting on Caden Lee. A lot of schools have made a run at him because if you have a good player, schools are making run at your good players. That's what they do. But thoughts are that he'll return. We'll see. Have not seen a formal announcement from Daughtery yet either. A few weeks ago, it sounded like it was a slam dunk. I can't imagine he's going anywhere. That would shock me, frankly. Yeah. I'm truly shocked. I mean, he and Pete Golding are like that's
his guy.
Yeah, that would shock me. Can't think if there's anybody else that has not announced that you want them. I think that's it.
All right, then. We shall see.
We shall see. And we shall see what Mississippi State does in Starkville tonight against Alabama. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Really appreciate you guys making our show a part of your day. Is there a post-game Thunder and Lightning getting posted?
No, I don't do basketball.
No basketball post-game, but you will get a regular TNL, and you also get...
Which I will not be recapping the basketball game. So.
Not tomorrow, anyway.
Yeah, it'll be Thursday.
And, of course, we'll talk about it right here on this show. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 3 o'clock. As always, y'all have a good night.
SuperTalk Mississippi Media Production.